that basically ends our predictions segment. We're now going to go over our best and worst takes of the year. This is where we're holding ourselves accountable. For this section, Sheldon has acquired 2 takes for each of us that were good, and 2 for each of us that were bad. And then I did the exact same. So we should have 4 wins and losses for each of us. And where do we want to start? Do you want to read one off first? You're muted.
I'll get a crazy one out the way that I said. I definitely had a lot of these, but I wanted to pick some ones that maybe weren't as glaring. But in the East top five uh, segment that we had, I said that Cam Thomas was going to be a top five shooting guard in the East, and yeah, that definitely did not pan out the way I thought it would. I was hoping that it would all come together for him finally, and he had like a couple games, but overall, yeah, did not did not hit on that one at all.
Yeah, I remember in the moment I didn't think it was that crazy because like the guys I put at the bottom of shooting guard were DiVincenzo and
Yeah,
Nemhard, and like consensus wasn't that those guys were much better than Cam Thomas, or probably consensus was Thomas was better. Um, but I don't think that was that crazy of a take in the moment. I just don't think it aged well, just because of how some of the shooting guards did in the East. I think I'll build you back up though. Um, I think this was like a really big W too. All right, after the Nuggets fired Michael Malone, you stuck with the Nuggets. This is in one of our later of the season predictions, and you still really like the Nuggets after I was completely out on the Nuggets following the Michael Malone firing. Um, just huge W, and like they really pushed OKC in the playoffs. Like there's an argument that they might have been the second best team in the playoffs so far. Really, really good take from you here. If you want to say anything on this comment, I'll let you go ahead.
yeah. I just trusted in Jokic, and the proven roster that they had. I didn't really expect Aaron Gordon to become like one of the one of the more clutch players in the West of this playoffs. But yeah, had to stick with them. Had to stick with them. And the coaching change, like low key, like fired him up a little bit. Now he's their new head coach. So
Yeah, just went a way that I did not foresee happening, and you saw it. So, all right, do you want to go to another one?
yeah, I'll go to a win for you. I'll go to a win for you. In light of the episode, you've been high on Indiana all year. You had them as a 1 seed in our East predictions. Um, you had them as coming out of the. You wouldn't be surprised if they were coming out of the East. And then mid-season, you also made a video about them, where you highlighted the defense and turnaround that was going around. I think a lot of people were high on Indiana, but definitely not as high as you has been. Um, so yeah, that was a lot of kudos to you because you definitely identified that early, and a lot of the things that they ended up doing in the playoffs that helped a lot. Yeah, I would say that's definitely the biggest thing that I saw that I liked. So if you want to talk about that,
Yeah, that was one of my wins for myself. Just because I pointed it out. I also pointed out like a lot of the things that really made a difference in the Knicks series. A lot of their high pickup points, a lot of the ball pressure that really like came back once Nemhard came back. Just the defensive rotations that just randomly started to click in mid-December, and then Indiana went on a really big run. I think I made the video in like mid-January on Indiana, but they made a big run, and they obviously are now in the finals. I thought they were going to be a little bit better of a regular season team, but I feel like if they would have just been healthy the whole year, they would have still been a better regular season team. So since that was one of my W's, we're going through 8 takes or 7 instead of 8 takes today. I'll go to one of my L's because it's kind of related to that one. Um, I thought the Celtics were going to take a step back this year in the regular season. I thought there was already the Porzingis injury coming into the year. And I thought that was going to be big for them. I didn't think Al Horford was going to be as available as Al Horford was at 38 years old, and just as good as he was at 38 years old. And I didn't think Luke Cornett and Amias Queta were going to be impactful players in the regular season, and they definitely were. Like, Luke Cornett was better than Kristaps Porzingis at the end of the playoffs. He's about to go get a real contract from another team. Derek White is, saved that man's career. That's obviously a hyperbolic statement. But yeah, it's just L on that point. If you have anything to say on that, you weren't as low on Boston as I was. So.
Yeah, I think I thought that Tatum was just an MVP caliber player, along with Jaylen Brown after coming off that huge extension as well. So I was definitely very high on that. And with the defense that they had, I wasn't too worried about it. And I think I low key thought Porzingis was playing for the whole season, like when I did do it. But yeah, I think Al Horford was definitely a surprise, and we've talked about this before with their what's next stuff. But um, yeah, I think the Celtics, and they really their offense was a big talk of this season with the three ball. So the fact that was able to be so successful, I think, played a huge part in that for sure, and them not taking that step back.
Yeah, I just really thought they were going to be like the 3 seed in like an average Eastern Conference. Like, not like they were a bad team. I just expected them to be like a low 50 to mid 50s win team, and they ended up being what was I was very much right on the Knicks and the Pacers and how I evaluated those teams. And obviously, like, nobody really had this out of Cleveland, but Boston was basically the same regular season juggernaut that they would have been, and if there wasn't a breakout Cavs season, they would have got the 1 seed. So I can't let myself get away with having them as the 2 seed, even though I was only 1 spot lower than they ended up finishing. But I can't let myself get away with that one. I'll kick it back over to you. Where do you want to go to next?
All right, I'll go to one of your L's on the season. And this was from your top 50 players coming into 2024. It was honestly like a pretty good list looking at it back at it now. But a name I saw there was Paul George at 16 over Kawhi, Victor Wembanyama, Ant Edwards, James Harden, John Morant, a lot of guys like that, and just like to see the recession that he saw, definitely was interesting to see him that high. So Pat, if you want to.
Let me throw one other name, because this was another name that I came from that list. I had Sabonis at 11.
Yeah.
I would call both of those L's. Sabonis just had overall, like, his scoring game has kind of regressed a little bit. He's not as confident looking for his own shot. That's why that one really was a whiff, in my opinion. Paul George, like, he went from 30 years old to 37 years old so quickly. I don't think I would have, if I was reevaluating it, I think I still do think I made a right-ish decision. I really liked his ability to play next to other players, because he did it the year before with Harden and Kawhi Leonard, and then in situations where Paul George was the best player on the floor, Paul George did take a step forward and was equally as efficient. It's just like, I don't know, the injury stuff really hit at him, or the injury stuff and the age hit him all at once. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a couple guys on a list every year like that just like just kill you. They kill you. But over John Morant, Victor, I think James Harden was fine, because I think I was higher than most people on Harden. But man, it was big whiff. I didn't even want to talk about Paul George. The Sabonis L, I was willing to take the Sabonis L. Uh, I guess I'll go somewhere too then. All right. I have two in a row related to rookies, and one of them is an L from you.
Oh no. I think I might
It,
know where this is going.
do you want to take a guess?
Is it Misi?
It's Yves Misty. This being said,
Ugh.
in the draft, I think I had Misi as like a really late first, and you said he was like a second roundish talent or something. I don't know. I had him as a worse player than Kyle Filipowski, who went in the second round, and you said he was like a late first / second round talent. I think something like that. I would say a lot of the things that you felt about him were kind of true. It's just a lot of the things that you thought were like marginal skills ended up being like kind of real skills.
Yeah.
That being said, they still might go center in the draft this next season. We'll see how that goes. Yeah. Do you got anything on Misi?
Yeah, I definitely underestimated him as a scorer and a rebounder. He had a great year. I definitely was stung a little bit from the Baylor early exit in the March Madness tournament, but yeah, he definitely proved me wrong because I think even if that didn't happen, I still wouldn't have been as high as him. But he ended up being like I I can't remember, I don't think he made first team, but I'm pretty sure he was all second team,
Yep.
all NBA or all rookie, not all NBA, but yeah,
Yeah. He was better than I expected as well, but you were a little bit lower than I
yeah.
was. All right. I don't know which ones you have left, but you got another one or two.
Um, I'll go. Hmm. Okay, I'm just gonna do a quick little honorable mention. In the West episode, you said the Kings were gonna have a seventh ranked offense, and they finished with the seventh ranked offense. Uh, in the West, which was crazy to me that you got that. So just wanted to throw that out there real quick. Um, and then I would say the Cade Cunningham slash Pistons breakout. I think I said that they were going to be competitive. The Pistons were going to be competitive, but I did say that they were going to lose a lot of their games. And I did expect Cunningham to break out, but definitely not in the way that you thought and the way that he ended up doing. Um, he had 26 points per game, 9 assists, rebounding the ball so well. I mean, triple double. He was giving some triple doubles on some nights. I think you gave a really accurate prediction of like what his game was going to end up being, and that's how it turned out. And I think that also when you mentioned Malik Beasley and Tobias Harris as being interesting pieces to see how it could even involve Cunningham's game, it's what ended up happening. So I thought that was a really good take from you to get this Pistons team who won 14 games last year to predict them. You predicted them pretty high in our East rankings too, and I had them like 13th or something. I think you had them like eight or in the
I don't
eight
think I
nine range.
did.
No,
I don't. I was gonna give you some pushback because although I do think I did the Cade prediction right. I mentioned all the things that had the Pistons improving this season, and then I still think I predicted them to be like the 12th best team. I think.
yeah,
Um,
I think you ranged them though as a
I
playing team, like a
that's probably what I ranged. Yeah,
yeah.
that would make sense.
Okay. But yeah, I thought the Cade Cunningham was a good pick because I think you even thought that he was going to do better than like the consensus was, and so yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I even expected a little bit more than we ended up getting this season, but he did take a real step forward. So I'm glad with that dub. It was my only good breakout pick. I'm sure you got a breakout L on me. I think I have one more because or wait, no, I have two more.
I
Um,
have three.
yeah, I have a win for you and a win for me and a loss for you.
Okay.
So my first loss here, or your last loss, is the Suns as the 2 seed.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
being said, I think I had him as the 5 or 6 seed, something like that. 4.
Yeah.
we, I I watched back the West and like, dude,
Yeah,
we did a good job in the East, but we struggled with that
the
the
West.
Western Conference.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. Um. Yeah. I definitely thought that Beal. I thought they were all going to be healthy, and I thought that Beal was going to be a big impact. He was solid, but he definitely struggled through a large part of the season. Tyus Jones and Monte Morris didn't end up being like the big thing that we thought they were going to be. It was just weird how it didn't happen. Like it all made sense. I definitely thought the defense was going to be a lot better, which was a huge swing and miss. You at least acknowledged the fact that their defense was going to struggle. Um, I think we both said that like Nurkic was going to be a big part in this too, and it's just funny to just end up seeing what happened. But yeah, this Suns team is didn't even make the playoffs. That kind of I can go into one of mine now if you want me to, Pat, because it's
Yeah,
on
go
the
ahead.
similar thing. It's one of my losses. I had the Rockets. I said the Rockets wouldn't make the play in, and they ended up being the 2 seed. That was a big miss. I'll explain myself. I definitely did not expect the just like everyone to be like solid scorers and the defense to be so damn good. I definitely swung miss on that. Like Amen Thompson took a huge step in his sophomore season. Dylan Brooks even had 14 points per game, and then Jabari Smith was very good. Tari Eason. One of my criticisms of them ended up hurting them a little bit in the playoffs, like them not having a go-to guy. But I definitely had like no faith in anyone else on this roster except for Sengun and Van Vliet. And Sengun ended up being great, like expected. Jalen Green ended up having a good year, even though there's definitely some questions about him. But for me to say they're not even going to make the play in, and then for them to be the 2 seed, even though not a lot of people predicted that, I definitely was way lower in the Rockets than I should have been.
Look at it this way though. If you just switched the Suns and the Rockets, you would have been right on both of them.
Yeah, that's crazy. I was
So
close. I was close.
you just wrote them down
Yeah,
by
wrote
mistake.
him down wrong.
Yeah, you're right. I actually do have another one for you, so I'll pick you up here.
Oh, thank you. I need it.
You were so going into the season, it was really hard to predict the West. And I was completely out on the Clippers, and you were not out on the Clippers. You trusted Harden. I did too. When we recorded the episode, I was a little more down on Harden, but when I went back and like did a little bit more for the top 50 list, I built back a little bit more trust in Harden. But you never wavered. Um, Even when Kawhi Leonard played like 38 games this season, they still were an excellent team. And they honestly like they were probably a top 3 West team once Kawhi was back. Um, yeah, I mean you were just you hit on them. Chris Dunn, you hit on the Chris Dunn move. I wasn't so moved by it. I didn't really think it would end up being that much for them, but Chris Dunn was huge for them,
Yeah,
and just a huge. It was a dub for you because I had them as I think like the 13 seed or something like that.
yeah, and I had him as like the 8. That was one of my dubs for myself too. Um, I like I said, I trusted in Harden, and I knew that Kawhi would be back. I definitely didn't like I don't think I expected Kawhi to be back like at this level, like for him to be like acting like his knee was never in shambles. But I definitely trusted in the defense. I knew what Chris Dunn was going to bring to this defense, and he was a better fit playing along Harden than Westbrook. And yeah, he was a huge X factor for them, especially defensively. Um, yeah, and I was high on Zubac a little bit too, and he ended up having a breakout year, so that definitely helped as well. This was a fun team, and hopefully they'll be able to do something next year. Um, so Kawhi doesn't go out too sad, and neither does Harden. But yeah, I think I got one more dub for me in a L. So I'll just
Get
do
the
the
hell
L
out
for
the
you
way.
real quick.
Yeah.
Um, Brandon Pozinski being the breakout player for you, uh, kind of didn't pan out the way it was thought. He only had like two points more from the points per games perspective, and you mentioned like passing being a huge part of it, and he ended up averaging less assists than he did last year, and he really struggled throughout the year. So, but in all fairness, he did kind of turn it around in the playoffs. But regular season pods definitely was not the step that I think everyone thought and you thought. But yeah,
I would agree with the regular season argument, but I wasn't wrong. I was just early. He showed what I was expecting in the playoffs. Um, no Pajemski stock has been sold by me yet, but yeah,
okay,
it
okay.
was a bad take. Bad take. I agree. All right. I have just a W for myself left. Um, and this was my draft W. I had Isaiah Collier as like a top 7 to 10 player in the draft. He went like 29, I think, to Utah, and I was kind of surprised when he didn't make all rookie team. He was I think the highest vote getter who didn't make an all rookie team. Um, it was just overall, I think, you know, out of all videos, I went back and watched the Jazz video, and there was real concerns about Isaiah Collier's passing and ball handling because he turned the ball over a ton in college. And I kind of was like, hey, he's going to be a perfectly fine advantage creator and passer. And he averaged, once he was able to start, he was putting up 10 assists a game like pretty frequently. So that was a win for myself. Gotta give the early draft W's to myself before the players end up just being good players for their career rather than right now it looks like he's on a great trajectory. So uh I'll let you go ahead, get your last one.
Yeah. Oh, hold up. My last dub here is gonna be from the breakout picks episode, and I'm gonna say Austin Reeves is a dub for me. AR-15. Uh, a lot of people were talking about as the best third option in the league until like he had a bad stretch, but it was like only a couple weeks in the playoffs. But uh, regular season stats, he had a 5 point per game increase. He averaged 20 points per game on better 3 point shooting, 37%. Uh, he also increased his assist and rebound numbers. So I feel like he had a big step up. Oh dang! I said he'd be a bona fide third option for them for the Lakers, and I think that definitely ended up panning out. So yeah,
I considered that one too for you. I mean, just the discourse around Reeves right now is crazy. I think in the playoffs, he ended up having some type of injury at the end of the playoffs. Uh, I I can't remember what it was. They said after they lost that he had been playing through it, so kind of explains the playoff slight drop off, I guess. Um, since I feel crazy because one of my a couple of our picks got taken, but yeah, it was just or by each other. But still, I think we overall had a good season. Like we have to take a lot of
yeah,
shots.
I had to dig for those L's. They weren't easy.
Yeah, I really had to cook up the MECL. I was like,
Go back to the
went
dark days.
went to the Pelicans video that got blacklisted at first and something like that. Couldn't get it up right away. Um, yeah, I mean, none of these really like were gonna instantly jump out at me, but I think with how many shots we are ultimately gonna have to take within the year, I think we shot a respectable percentage. Uh, Year two, I'm expecting hopefully we'll shoot a higher percentage. Hopefully.
Yeah,
Um, as far as the rest of the season goes, we're gonna have obviously we're gonna be talking about the playoffs as they still end. What's next episodes are gonna be coming out every other day, pretty much, excluding when the podcast episodes come out, and that should be good. We might do a redraft really early in the season just to get us, into the draft season. The draft is in like 3 to 4 weeks now, and we will be doing our own mock drafts. Um, maybe we do like some type of a big board type of thing. I don't know yet, but we will definitely be doing a mock draft before the actual draft comes out. Uh, yeah, I mean, do you have anything else on our first season covering the NBA? I guess. I think you're muted.
Oh, I'm muting myself. It's been crazy. I feel like I've definitely gained a lot more knowledge as it's gone on, for sure. So, yeah.
Great, great first season. Season 2 will be starting. Hopefully, we'll start off-season review earlier than we had before. And yeah, I mean, it won't be. We'll still be doing weekly episodes. Yeah, we will see you guys next week talking about the NBA Finals. Great time. Make sure y'all watch every game.